butter. I don't know why it went off. Didn't you leave it on? I thought I did. Let me do this. All right, we're going to get started. I'd like to just introduce myself. I've done this for the last 12 or 13 years. I'm Michael Salardino, and I'm your MC tonight, so you're stuck with me. I'll try to go as fast as we can. But I really do have to introduce two people because I didn't know they were going to be here. And there aren't that many people left from when I graduated from high school, and they are here, two of them. Jim and Linda Rickoff over here, they surprised me. I didn't know they were going to be here. They're here because her maiden name is Gersick and Matt's her nephew. So I'm just excited because we went to Catholic High and it was really great. Okay, our very first awards tonight are the McCartney Awards. And so I'd like to bring up Miles to introduce the McCartney Awards. Miles, come on up.
Thanks, Mike. It's now my privilege to bring up the Brian McCartney Award winners. The Brian McCartney Award is given annually to outstanding high school male and female athletes in the Pueblo area. The award was named after McCartney, a longtime administrator with the Pueblo Public Schools and a staunch advocate for high school sports. Here with us tonight is his daughter, Ann McCartney. She can come on up and she'll help to present these awards to these two athletes. So first, our male athlete. This individual was a three-sport athlete early in his high school career in football, basketball, and track, eventually focusing on football and track. He was a two-year captain and record-breaking quarterback for the Cyclones, who led the football team to a state semifinal. Holds the Cyclones football school record in total offense, career passing, and touchdowns. Was named the offensive MVP, first-team All-State, and a National Football Foundation All-Colorado selection his senior year. On the track, he was a state champion and school record holder in multiple sprint events and relays in the 200-meter, 400, 4x2, and 4x4. Most importantly, he carried a 3.91 GPA in the classroom. He's continued his football career at the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley after graduating. And our male athlete of the year for 2024 is Gavin Lockett, Pueblo West. Here to accept the award on his behalf are his parents, Nicole and Cody Lockett. And now on to our female athlete. In track her freshman year, she set the school record in the 4x1 and the 4x2. She placed second in state in long jump, third in high jump, and her first season at track in Pueblo West. The Cyclone school record in the long jump during her sophomore season. She placed third at state in the high jump and was fifth in the 100-meter hurdles her sophomore season. Long jump and triple jump record holder, champion and runner-up in the high jump, and a Colorado State High School Track and Field Championship on her junior season. She was voted the Track Athlete of the Year at Pueblo West as a junior. She qualified for state in the high jump, setting the school record of long jump in the 100-meter hurdles. In volleyball, she was a freshman Rookie of the Year, a four-time All-League selection, the top hitter as a freshman in the state of Colorado. Earned the Volleyball Coaches Award as a sophomore. She was named the MVP of the South Central League as a junior. She achieved 1,000 assists and was a 5A All-State selection. Your female athlete of the year is Brady Menegatti from Pueblo West. Here to accept the award on her behalf is Brandy, her mother.
Thank you.
Let's hear it again one last time for both Gavin Lockett and Brady Menegatti. It's now my privilege to speak on the Sali Rosso Award. The Solly Rosso Award is an all-sports championship award in honor of Solly. Solly was a teacher, a coach, an administrator, and a county commissioner. Rosso served on many boards in the city of Pueblo, as well as for the Colorado High School Athletics Association. When the GPSA first established, he was the first president of this association. The award will be presented to one of the 8 area local high schools whose athletic teams excelled best in all 3 sports seasons, the fall, the winter, and the spring. Our recipient tonight is Pueblo East High School. Here to accept the award on behalf of Pueblo East is Athletic Director Joe Terry. Congratulations again to Pueblo East High School. And to round off, you guys having to listen to me today, it's now my pleasure to bring up Dr. Paul Polinsky, the Vice President of Athletics and Strategic Partnership, to speak on behalf of the Jesse Banks and Jim Spank Blazing Award recipients. The Jesse Banks and Jim Spank Blazing Award are given to the top male and female scholar athletes here at CSU Pueblo. Mr. Dr. Paul Polinsky.
Thank you, Miles. Welcome on behalf of the Colorado State University Pueblo, specifically the athletic department, and I'm honored to be able to be here in our partnership with the Greater Pueblo Sports Hall of Fame is one that I'm really proud of and grateful for. And I'm also thankful for the opportunity this evening to share a little bit about the 2 student athletes that are honored as the Jesse Banks Award recipient and the James Spank Blazing Award recipient. So on behalf of the Intercollegiate Athletic Department, this last year we recognized Catherine Higgins as our Jesse Banks Award recipient. Jessie was a national champion in the shot put for us. She was a multi-time All-American. She was RMAC, or Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Scholar Athlete of the Year, Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Woman of the Year. She is formerly from Villa Bella Elementary School as an intern in that school, and she now teaches up in the Denver area. In fact, she just got married this summer, and as a student athlete for the PAC, she carried a 4.0 GPA. So really proud of the fact that she was able to carry on Jesse Banks' legacy. In addition to her was a men's soccer player by the name of Dylan Zavacini. Dylan was a part of our program that went to 3 consecutive NCAA Final Fours, 2 consecutive NCAA National Championship runner-up finishes. He was an all-conference and all-region performer in men's soccer, an athletic training major who is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We were fortunate to have him with the program. He carried a 3.9 GPA, and we're honored that he was able to carry on James Spank Blazing's legacy for many years to come. Before I conclude, I'd just like to give a shout out to my friend, Jim Brooks. Congratulate you on your induction. He also was inducted into the CSU Pueblo Athletics Hall of Fame just a couple weeks ago. But the voice of the Thunderwolves is alive and well, and excited to hear him to bring the Thunderwolves football team to you this weekend as the PAC hosts the University of Texas Permian Basin at 1 o'clock down at the Thunderbolt for the first round of the NCAA football championships. And so hope you all can join us for a great season. The PAC are on their way to right now a 10-1 season, back-to-back conference championships, and we hope that Coach Phil Behiel and the Thunderwolves can bring it home. But Jim, thanks for all you do and congratulations. Thank you for being here. We're grateful for the partnership with CSU Pueblo Athletics, and congratulations to all the inductees, and go PAC.
Since we mentioned Jim's going to the game Saturday, his partner in crime, the color commentator who got inducted last year, Joe Serby, is here. Joe?
Way in the back.
Way in the back, where you can't cause any trouble. Okay, that's good. Next, Miles Gorham and I will be presenting the great moments in sports. Actually, he'll be presenting them. I'll be talking about them. And so our very first one, they do this by era, okay? And era 1 is like ancient history. but I will tell you that that I played against this team, so it can't be that long ago, can it? I'm not that old. Are we that old? We're not. Lynn's chicken. Linda, you look like you did in high school. Jeez. Anyway, this was Central beats Pooter for the 1965 state title. The amazing thing about that title is Central had to have a playoff with South to even qualify for state because they both had one loss on the record. South, in fact, beat Central in the regular season, but the Wildcats won that playoff game handily and then went through the playoffs and played Pooter here at what was then Public School Stadium and beat them 14-0 for the title. Catholic High scrimmaged them that year. Catholic High was 10-1. And I insist that we won, and Dave Perkins insists they won, so who knows, it was 60 years ago. Anyway, Ed Lesser, the legendary Ed Lesser, was their coach. Central's 1965 team, is anybody here from that team, by the way? Because if you are, please come on up. Dave Skydahar was a legend on his own. We have quite a few of them here tonight. That's great. See, we're not that old. I like Dave's recipes on Facebook. They're always.
Show you a certificate, yeah. Facing a certificate out like that. Yeah. Big camera.
Some of you guys look like you could still play. Dave, you look like you could still play. Okay, era 2, which means not ancient history, but not yesterday. And this one we have our president deeply involved in this one. The Pueblo South wrestling teams from 2004 and 2005 were the first Pueblo wrestling teams to win back-to-back Colorado State 4A titles in wrestling. The 2004 Colt wrestling team had 10 state qualifiers, 8 state placers, and 1 state champion. Is that Tano Amiel? Tano Mael. Yeah, that's great. Let's hear it for the 2004 team. But then the next year, the 2005 team had 12 state qualifiers, 7 state placers, 1 state champion, Mark Boudre, and many of the same wrestlers. Boudre. From now on, give me names I can pronounce. Boudre. Don't do this to me. I could say Dave Steinhardt. That's pretty cool. Anyway. Many of them repeated the next year. They didn't win the state championship, but they were runners-up in 2006. Assistant coaches were Tim Urenda, Robert Baca, Charlie Wilson, Josh Cisneros, and the head coach is right here, our president, Jerry Cisneros. Let's hear it for those South High team. Let's have all the members of that team that are here come up. See, these guys really do look like they can still wrestle. In fact, after I mispronounce both names, they're probably going to wrestle me a little later. So. Okay, now the only thing I don't like is there's one tall guy. I thought wrestlers were winning. Yeah, I like it more like this guy.
put this in bread.
Or a recording. Why don't you write a, put a recording when you read
Sorry,
it?
brother.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
By the way, our photographer tonight is Kara Siegel from the Global Chamber of Commerce, volunteering to do this. So thank you, Kara, for being there. Okay, from the modern era, Pueblo County's Hunter Willits becomes the first four-time state champion. For those of you who don't count so well, that means every year that he was in school, he won the state championship. In February of 2017, Hunter became a state champion for the fourth straight year. Interestingly enough, his brother Grant won his third straight title that same night. Hunter's margin of victory in the championship match was a close 13-0. Needless to say, Pueblo County also won the state title that year. Is there any chance anybody, Hunter or anyone from his family, is here tonight? Okay, you're here? Come on up. Every year. That's not bad. It's now time for our inductions, and I think that the inductees are out in the hallway somewhere, right? And so, if you guys are if you're all paying attention, we're going to call your names and then have you come in. It's kind of our grand entrance thing we do. I wish we had music, but we don't. Okay, first inductee is Howard Ballage. Yeah! Second, Jim Brooks. Matt Gersick. Steve Ivan. Dick Schmaltz. And Frank Whalen. Frank is with his grandson, our former District 60 school board member, Taylor Voss. So, Taylor. And now we get to hear from them. So. First, I'd like to introduce Howard Ballage. My memories of Howard Ballage high school career are vivid because that was back when I was doing sports at KDZA and KO8AA TV, and I remember Howard being absolutely amazing. Pueblo high schools were still in the top division back then, and Howard was one of Colorado's premier running backs, along with Terry Miller, who was at Mitchell, and went on to All-America status at Oklahoma State. Howard, and they later played together in the National Football League. Howard was recognized as the area's high school player of the year, and he was all-league and also all-state. He then competed in track and still holds the South High record in the long jump. Howard then played under Bill Mallory at CU, where he twice ran back kickoffs for touchdowns, one of them 106 yards. That's like more yards than there are on the field, okay, so really far, okay. So he played on the same team with Dave Logan, Jeff Napple, and Don Hasselbeck. Howard played with all those same guys in the Orange and Blue Bonnet Bulls. Ladies and gentlemen, Howard Ballage.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank the Hall of Fame committee. Thank my family, teammates, and coaches, Salamino, Lockett, and Burris that are out. And you know, I didn't prepare a speech or anything. What I did prepare, I left at home. So, you know, I don't have a lot to say. You know, moving to Pueblo from Texas years ago, once I got here, I think when I went to Pitts Middle School, I think in one day I met more people at Pitts than I knew in Texas the whole time I lived there. And, you know, and just the niceness of people in this part of the country that really makes you feel at home. You know, there wasn't a day that I was at Pitts or South that I didn't feel welcomed. And that's one thing that I have to say about Pueblo is the camaraderie and the warmthness that people make you feel. And I carried that on in my long life. The way I live life is the way I learned it here in Pueblo. And I just want to thank Pueblo, the whole town of Pueblo, the organization. Bill Sable was my coach. That rest in peace, Bill was a great coach and taught me a lot. And just the city of Pueblo uplifted me and sent me on a mission to go on in life and to have passion for whatever you did. And my dad, I just thank my dad for when we moved here, that we stayed on the south side of town and found a house there, and I was able to be a Colt and not a bulldog or a wildcat or anything of that sort. So with that, I just want to say thank you to the organization here and everybody that showed up. Thank you.
For a guy that forgot, Jerry's insisting that we're going to turn this off every time.
We gotta turn that one.
I don't think we have to turn it off every time, Jerry,
Try that.
because then we'll be here for breakfast. So, no, I don't got it. Okay, Jerry comes up to this microphone, shooting.
This looks forward to him.
Yeah, you stay there. Howard, for somebody who forgot his speech, that was pretty darn impressive. So, our next inductee is Jim Brooks. And I was going to say Jim needs no introduction and then sit down, but I won't do that to him. Jim also attended South High School from 1976 to 1980. He was a 4-year letter winner in golf, 2 years in basketball and baseball. The South 1978 team won 12 of 13 tournaments. There's a whole lot of teams in a tournament. It's not like they beat one other team. Okay, that's really amazing. And they won the state championship by 20 strokes. 2 of its members are being inducted tonight. Jim was a 4-year letter winner in golf at what is now CSU Pueblo. He was twice All-RMAC, and once his team won the RMAC title. He's won 3 city golf titles and was second one other time. He also was awarded a title when the person who won was disqualified for not being a Puebloan. He and his partner, yeah, they used to do that. You had to live here to win. He and his partner, who's also being inducted tonight, won the prestigious Memorial Day two-man. Jim is best known as the voice of CSU Pueblo's Thunderwolves, and he has teamed with last year's inductee Joe Serby in various capacities on the radio and other ways for the last 25 years. Last month, Jim was inducted into the CSU Pueblo Sports Hall of Fame in this very room. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Brooks.
Thank you, Mike. Oh, we got to turn this one on. Yeah, you turn it on. Need a sound tech.
Check, 1, 2, check.
That's how you do that. Wow. Good evening, everybody. You know, first thing I wrote down, 4 minutes. Really? 4 minutes? I'm going to borrow 2 from Howard. So I'm up to 6 now. Jim Ranson out there, he's already got the signal to give me the hook. But thanks, everybody. Thanks for the committee. Thanks to Joe Serby for nominating me. And it's a great honor. Congrats to the inductees. Howard Ballage, I mean, back when running back was sexy, right? Back in the early 70s, mid 70s, I mean, this guy was a comet. Go around the end and just take off. And also great to watch on the track. And, of course, the long jump record. Matt Gersick, touchdown machine at Pueblo West. 44 touchdowns in your career, something like that. Won the national shot put championship in college. All-American. Crazy. Frank Whalen, 469 hitter. I'm glad I didn't have to face you, but I would have twirled the fork ball or the knuckle curve at you to see if you could have handled it. But I'm sure you probably could. I saw your picture. I said, man, that guy would have been tough to face. Dick Schmaltz, man, takes us back to our youth. And Steve and I were talking about it. There's only 2 of the coaches here tonight that we named golf tournaments after. We used to play fictitious golf tournaments, and one of them was the Dick Schmaltz Liquor Open. It worked, right? It worked. Then we had the Rich Reasoner Memorial, and Rich always said, hey, I'm not dead. I said, but it has a good tune to it. So we did the Rich Reasoner Memorial. And we had 2 other ones. We won't name them because they're a little... Well, Rocco Pignell come be my first man open. He was always recruiting people. But and, of course, my buddy, Steve Ivan. I mean, Steve and I go back to when we were little tykes. I remember Steve and I, they got the tournament together when we were 8 years old. And I'd signed up. That was 10 and over to be in the tournament, but I was big. I looked, old enough to be in the tournament. And somebody that was 10 years old said, he's not 10 years old, he can't play. But they knew I was going to beat him. So Mo Springer, he found Steve and found Mike Manata, so we had the Pee Wee Open. That was one of the only times I beat Steve in a golf tournament, the first one ever. Pee Wee champ, and that had been 1970, probably right then. I still got the picture at home, the old Pee Wee champ trophy. But Steve and I, he mentioned, Mike mentioned we won a tournament together. We won the 2-man tournament by, I think, about 18, 20 shots, something like that. Steve shot 65. I shot 70. Our best ball was 60. And on the Scotch round, we shot under par. We won by we won the net even. Remember? Yeah. Gross and net, which is unheard of. All the liars, the sandbaggers, we even beat them. But they don't. I said, we should get double the money. Should we get both? And they said, no, you only get the gross money. So we'll start with golf, because I've got a few things to get to here. But golf career, Rich Reasoner right over here. I can remember I qualified as a freshman. Steve and I both, we beat out a couple of seniors, Dave Bovee, and a couple of, they were ticked off. The young freshmen came, we beat them out. We're on the team. So we thought, we're feeling pretty full of ourselves. So we go out on the driving range for my first lesson with Rich Reasoner. So we get a bucket, and I'm thinking, all right, let's go. Let's see what this coach can tell me what to do. So he changed a few things. I hit a bucket of balls. I rolled, I think, 40 consecutive shots. Rolled them on the ground because he changed my swing, and finally I got it. Rich, forever grateful for changing my swing. And then Steve and I, when we played in that 2-man, we couldn't play anymore because Steve's wife said, you know what, it's a 3-day holiday. We're going to go camping, if I remember right. And I said, well, got to find a partner. So I'm like, who am I going to play with? Phone rings, Rich Reasoner. And we won it 8 times, Rich. That was fun. That was some of the most fun of times of my life. And the one year we'd won it 6 times in a row. We finally lost. But if you remember right, Rich, we won a skin, which I birdied it was his 10th hole now. It was the 16th hole. It was a $1,500 skin. So we took home $750 apiece. The two young bucks that beat us in the tournament, they were all happy. They took us down, and I said, you know what? I got $750. You can have that sleeve of balls. We went on to win it a couple more times, but 9 in all. It was some of the greatest time. I miss it. I miss it tremendously. I played a couple extra years with some different people, and it just never was the same. So I just don't do it anymore, but because it just didn't feel right not to be playing with the rich anymore. City championships. Dave Socher used to introduce me to people. We'd go into different towns. He'd say, I want you to meet the second best golfer in Pueblo to a different guy every year. I finished second 8 times in that tournament. Finally won in 90, 93, and 96. But I'm happy to say the guys I finished second to, kind of a who's who of golf. Of course, Stevie twice here. First time was in a playoff in 1985. I still think you were lucky to make that 20-footer on one in the playoff. Keep the playoff alive. Rocky Tarvell, Jason Allen, Ray McCloskey, Pete Severson, John Buffalo, Andrew Hedrick. That's pretty much a who's who in golf in Pueblo. Now, the good thing about most of those guys, they beat me and they turned pro. So then we didn't have to worry about them anymore. Stevie left town, so that helped too, to be able to win a couple golf tournaments. But I was figuring it out the other day. It was pretty good. If you beat me, you won the tournament, right? That's pretty much the way it was for a while there. Shot in the 60s, par or better, 29 out of 55 rounds in that run. Not bad. 71 9 times. 71, my second favorite number, Steve, remember? I won't explain that to anybody. But golf was fun. I still play. Now my golf is basically on Sunday mornings or on Wednesdays in the Brooks and Dunn Comedy Golf Tour. Or on Sundays, my dear friend Wayne Gordon here, we play. Brad's out there, he plays occasionally with my brother Tommy. When my mom was on her deathbed in hospice, she brought Tommy up and whispered to him, Tommy, you gotta play golf with your brother. And that was 7 years ago. And the day after she died, Tommy said, hey, we got a tea time, I gotta go play golf, Mom said. And so we've been playing pretty much every Sunday since. And then Saturday we do what we call driver purification. That's when you go out and hit a bunch of drivers and you drink 3 beers. But I love it. And Wayne I don't compete hardly in anything anymore, but Wayne wants to play in the 2-man next year. So Wayne and I have been working at it a little bit. So Memorial Day, I might be back in it. Wayne's going to have to get him a little bit better to compete for us to win. But he's getting close. He's right there around 80. But I might have to be one of those sandbaggers. Maybe I'll start posting scores a little higher, get up there 5 or 6 and see if we can do it. All right, enough about golf. Am I getting the hook yet, Jimmy Don?
Oh, you got that along.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Let's talk some baseball, shall we? Dave Dudley, my coach for the Elks, right here in front of me. I mean, what a magical summer that was in 1979 for the Pueblo Elks. High school baseball for us was kind of forgettable at South. We didn't have a very good record. There were some good games on occasion, but we got together with the Elks. They paired us up with the guys from Central, and you'd been beating your brains out against them all year, and then you got to team up together in summer ball. So they put us with the guys from Central, and we're going, man, we got to play with the Hoods from Bessemer. But some of the greatest friends of my life, the kids from Central, and we paired up and we won a state title. And it was just a magical year. And one of my greatest friends in life, Greg DeLeon, who couldn't be here tonight. His wife's mom passed away at a funeral today, so he couldn't make it. But lifelong friends were made on that team. We beat Aurora. Dave and I were talking about it in the state. That was a semifinal. They played a double elimination, so I guess it was a 3rd round game against Aurora, and these guys were loaded. Danny Jackson, who pitched in the majors, you guys maybe you're familiar with that, or baseball fans, ended up pitching for the Royals and the Cardinals. He started the game against little old me. And 12 innings later, I was still on the mound, got us out of it, and Nino Geritano hit about a 45 hopper through the middle, and we won the ball game. I was sick in a tub of ice, and we won that game, and it was just it was a magical time. And Ken Coatney, remember, he told us, you guys aren't very good. You guys aren't very good at all. I don't know how you're winning. But we had great chemistry. And we even took down the big bad boys from East, Jordan Berge and all those guys that could just hit the cover off the ball. But I can remember many 2-hitters. We're talking about people. Mike Dario's here. I think I had counted up. I went in my scrapbook. 3 2-hitters I threw against either East or post 203. all 3 times. Who had the 2 hits? Mike Dario. Could not get that guy out. So now we move on to, like Mike said, I guess I'm best known for broadcasting, right? Remember, Mike, a pregame show lasts 4 minutes on 1350. Usually 5 minutes. And you're trying to make my whole life into 4 minutes here. It just isn't going to work.
Jerry's rule.
I know, Jerry's rule. Took long enough to get in here. But, you know, it started off, I guess, in 1980. I can remember Jeff Orman. We all know Jeff Orman, the great high school voice of sports in southern Colorado. And I used to do impressions of him in the locker room when he'd come in. We all know how Jeffrey Orman was, you know, so I'd do his voice, and he thought it was the greatest thing left, so he gave me a gig. So I used to do live reports of county football and Rye, and cut my teeth there. And it was fun start there. Eventually went on to doing some games, worked with guys like Greg Gaffney and Marty Bikina, Barkley Clark, Sandy Clark, Tony Wright. Just great memories of all my years of doing radio. Called a couple state championship games for South girls basketball. But then 94, that all came to end. The radio career was pretty much over because they'd moved a different way, so I was kind of stuck in the wilderness, not doing anything. Then a guy named Scott Richards at PCC, they started doing high school football on television. In fact, the first year, Dan DeRose was here, actually did color, I think, of that game. Maybe Lee Douglas was part of that. And they called me and they said, hey, we'd like you to do some high school football. And I said, really? I'm back. And so we did a high school game of the week for 24 years. And it was exciting stuff, and got to see so many great games. The great Bell game in 99, it was 69-53. Trent Thompson's catch to win a Bell game. State championship games all over the state, sometimes working on scaffolding, working out in the stands, just crazy memories that we had. And it was all due to Scott Richards. I miss him terribly. He died of cancer here a few years back. And District 60, in their infinite wisdom, decided students could do the games better than PCC could. So they kind of said, sayonara. So the TV career is over. But you got what you asked for. Do I sound bitter at District 60? A little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's been a bitter divorce. 2010, well, the football team came back around 2008. I was out of action. I wanted to be part of the Thunderwolves. Wasn't part of it the first 2 years. Third year, Scott Jones came to me and Joe Servey said, hey, we got to change this thing up on the football broadcast on the radio. We want you to do them. I go, hallelujah. And it's been a great 15-year run doing the Thunderwolves, and just keeps getting better and better. The last 3 games have ended on the last play of the game in this season. If they're all going to end on the last play of the game and we win, I hope we have 5 more of them. But I hope you guys can tune into that this weekend, and looking forward to it. And we get a break in a new basketball coach as well this week with Zach Rubisan. Special thanks Ben Greenberg, my friend. My travel all over the country with him on the road. And of course, you met Paul Plinsky earlier. Has stood behind my back a few times when I've been in trouble with the referees. We all know, being basketball referees, we don't get along too well. Is somebody calling me, telling me it's time to end? It's actually my nephew, Rob Ritkers, calling from California. Rob, tune in. Maybe he's telling me enough is enough. But it's been awesome. Thank all my coaches. Dave Lockett's here as well today. My basketball career, we're only going to sum it up. Freshman year, we had a pretty good year. And Dave Lockett taught me the fine art of hatred for East. It's a fine art, you know. But the dirty birds, I think, is what Dave might have called them. But I can still remember the 25-footer from deep in the corner to send it in overtime freshman year. And they're right there. They can remember it well. It sticks in their craw to this day. That's my basketball career is over. I got to guard Brad Ranson for a couple years in practice. That was enough of that. I think that's it. Is everybody tired of me? Well, once again, thanks everybody. Good night.
If anybody sees Jerry Carter, who's the food service guy, tell him that thanks to Jim Brooks, we're gonna need some omelets. Jim, by the way, if you play golf every Sunday morning, I assume you go to church on Saturday afternoon.
No.
And there's a whole East High table back there, and they're gonna wanna visit with you after. Okay, our next inductee, and I'm not sure if he brought his own speech or not, but we're excited to have him. Matt Gersick. Matt attended Pueblo West High School, where he was a 4-year letterman in both football and track as a star shot putter. In football, he was all-league and all-state and rushed for, get this, 4,003 yards and 44 touchdowns. In track, he still holds the school shot put record and was the state champion in 2004. He was Pueblo West's first state champion. He went to Adams State, where he played 1 year of football, but again excelled in track. He won the NCAA National Championship in shot put in 2009. He won numerous All-RMAC honors and was a 2-time academic All-American. He was named Adams State's Outstanding Student Athlete in 2009. He's now a track coach at Adams and has seen his athletes win 6 national titles and 18 RMAC titles. He and his wife Caitlin still reside in Alamosa. We're excited to have him here tonight. Matt Gersick.
Thank you. This is such a great honor, one that I never imagined that I would actually experience. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the Hall of Fame Committee, the GPSA. I also want to congratulate all the other inductees tonight and all the others that came before us. First and foremost, I must thank God for the blessings He's given me. I don't know if I'd be here without Him. I would also like to thank my family. Your unwavering support over the years has been my foundation in more ways than you know. I want to thank specifically my mom, dad, brother, and all my other family and friends, many that are here tonight, for the years of support through many trying times. To my wife, you're my inspiration, steady hand. I hope I make you proud every day. I also want to acknowledge some of my mentors that have taught me so many things and provided a solid foundation for me to be successful. First off, Derek Woodsky, John Whalen, Walter Predovich, Damon Martin, and last but not least, the Lane brothers, Keith and Rich. They started it all for me when I was playing football at Pueblo West, taught me a lot of different lessons, toughness, and many things that carried on in my life. These people played a crucial role in my journey, pushing me, teaching me, also believing in me. Believing in me so much that they stood by me even when I suffered a catastrophic knee injury that ended my 1 year of playing football in college. They believed in me so much that they honored my scholarship, even when I was in a wheelchair and may never walk again. And then without them and the many others, I would not have accomplished these things that I have. The value of chasing excellence in every way possible is a vital part of my life. These people have taught me how to chase excellence, and I hope I can pass that along to others. I reflect on these countless memories, those of triumph and even failure. These have all shaped me in various different ways. Every challenge was a lesson, every injury was a way to build back stronger, and every victory was a shared celebration. As I accept this honor, I'm reminded that success is never achieved alone. It is a collective effort built on the contributions of many, and I hope to inspire future generations to pursue their dreams and chase excellence as well. I hope to pass down this knowledge, passion, and drive that I've learned from these many great people that were my mentors and before me, and I hope to pass that along to them. Thank you again for this great honor. I will forever cherish these memories along the path that led me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. And you and I do have one thing in common. You were running back that scored 44 touchdowns. I was a running back that was number 44. That's what I got. Jim, you mentioned Rich. Rich, are you here tonight?
To the left.
Oh, he left.
No, to the left.
Oh, to the left. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. Not only a great golfer and golf coach, a great basketball player and basketball coach, and one of the nicest people ever. Rich, I'm really glad you're here. Steve Ivan. We're not going to list all of Steve's accomplishments because then we will need those omelets, or the tournaments he won. But Steve also attended South High School, as you now know, from 1976 to 1980. And the golf team made it to the state final, to the state all 4 of those years. The Colts placed 3rd in his sophomore year and won the title next year, as you also know, by 20 strokes. He was 3rd overall, and one of his teammates, Jim Brooks, who also got inducted tonight, was on that same team. Steve won the Pueblo City Championship in 1985, 87, and 97. His final round in 97 was a 62. I don't think that's such a big deal. I shoot 62 all the time, but then I got to play the back 9. So. He and Brooks won as, again, the prestigious Memorial 2-Day in 1982. Steve has also won numerous titles at various courses in Colorado Springs and throughout the state. He clearly is one of Pueblo's all-time greatest golfers, Steve Ivan.
I hope I make it through the night. Well, hey, thank you for everybody being here tonight. This is an incredible experience, and thank you so much. I do want to have full disclosure. I'm a crier, so be prepared. I'd like to thank the the Greater Pueblo Sports Association, the Hall of Fame, for my induction, as well as everybody else up on this stage. And I want to thank a few people here tonight. I'll thank you later, so that helped me along the way and make my journey a lot easier. To my mom and dad who've passed away, Ron and Connie Ivan, we used to call them Raj and Slammer. They're the ones that got me started in the game when I was 7. And my brothers and sisters that are here tonight, every one of them living, thank you. My sister Mary Jo, my sister Judy, brother Prim, who was inducted last year, brother Ron, and my brother John. Thank you for all the well wishes throughout the years. And then my daughter Jennifer is here. She's awesome. My son, Trevor, he can't be here. He's living and teaching in Melbourne, Australia. Of course, to my wife, Elaine. There she is. She's going to have shoulder surgery Friday, so please say a prayer for her. We just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary. And to say you've been my biggest supporter, that would be an understatement. You've been my caddy, and she has been my caddy at a USGA event, wore the bib. You're my motivator. You're my 15th club in the bag. Thank you, and I love you. Thanks to Jimmy Brooks for all the good memories, like winning the state championship in '78, having epic putting matches at City Park, talking swing mechanics like thumb and palm, and concepts like 90% of your putts left short don't go in. I'd like to thank Mr. Schmaltz right here. Even though he was from a rival school, I went to South, he was a coach at East. He was always really supportive of everybody. In fact, we all all the teams practice together at the top of the range. And if you know anything about the golf, you either call somebody a pard for partner or a horse. But Mr. Schmaltz calls everybody pony. Way to go, pony. I'm proud of you. I'd like to thank my coach, Rich Reasoner, in high school. You're getting a lot of airtime tonight, Coach. He taught us to always be level-headed, keep your composure. He always urged us to post a low score. Never be afraid to post a low score. Well, back in the day in high school, the coaches were allowed to play the course as the same day as the tournament. So all the high school coaches played. Well, he had a rule that if you beat him or you shot under par, he gave you a sleeve of balls. I never ran low on balls. So how did I get here tonight? This little short midget from the south side that lived on Fordham Circle around the corner from Jimmy. Well, it all started at City Park Golf Course. And growing up at City Park was a great experience. I used to, and my brothers as well, we used to jump the fence at hole 15. I'd put my bag up on the top rung, climb the fence, and hope I didn't get cut up from the top shroud. And we'd practice and play all day. Now, back in the 70s, we didn't have the greatest range balls, the greatest course conditions, but what we did have was people that cared about you and how they wanted to help you get better. There were pros like Mo Springer, Larry Brooks, and they'd let us hit range balls for free. There was older guys like Farina, C.W. Rogers, Joe Torpy, and Gary Getman, and they always took care of us young kids. Then there was a guy named Gene Cavano. He was a good player in his day, and he was a bus driver. And I can remember Jimmy and I standing by the putting green one day, and he would come up to us, and he asked us with very serious question. He says, "Do you breathe in or do you breathe out when you take the club back?" And we were just like, our heads were about ready to explode. And anyway, he took care of us. Another memory that I had at City Park was that playing the short nine with my brother Prim and Ron. And we were on the 7th hole, and I went to hit my second shot out of the ferry. Now remember, I'm like 8 years old, so I didn't hit the ball very far. And I was going to use a tee to tee it up, and they shouted at me, "Hey, you can't use a tee. You got to hit from the grass." And I think I cried. But looking back, that was the moment that got me motivated to show them I could do it. I could be like Big Brother. There is a quote from Michael Phelps, who's quite arguably the greatest swimmer of all time. And he says, if you want to be the best, you have to do things that other people aren't willing to do. I always knew that somewhere, someone was trying to beat me, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So I decided early on I was going to outwork everybody. All the practice hours, the bloody hands, the calluses are proof that I achieved my goal. Thank you for letting me share a few thoughts with you tonight. Thank you to Pueblo, Colorado, like Howard said, Pueblo. Just think about all the athletes. I know when I talk to all my buddies up in Denver, they always said, "Boy, you went to Pueblo. You have great athletes down there." We do have great athletes. Thank you for the committee recognizing our commitment to our sport tonight. And in closing, I just want to say, you've made an old Bo John happy.
Thanks a lot, Steve. One of the people I play golf with played at South around the same time as you guys, Ray Javik, and he said when I started playing with the Ivans, he said it was He said, I couldn't even beat their dog. So, okay, our next one, you're gonna think I made this up. This guy's so amazing, you're gonna think I used it. Come on, you're kidding. Anyway, the most amazing thing about Dick Schmaltz is that he wasn't inducted years ago. Dick played football for Central from 1949 to 1953. He played both ways as fullback and linebacker, two of the tough guy positions. His Wildcats won the 1953 state title when Pueblo teams were playing in the highest division. He played in the first 3 Bell games and was honorable mention All-State. In 1953, he won the state championship in the 120 and 180 low hurdles and set the school record and league record in the low hurdles. He then started in football and track at Pueblo Junior College, setting school records in track and being named outstanding football player. Then he went to New Mexico State, where he was named most inspirational player in football. He then was named golf coach at East High, where numerous of his golfers went on to state, and one, Gary Woodside, became the golf pro at Elmwood. Dick won the Pueblo senior title twice and the Southern senior title 3 times. Wait, he also won the city bowling title in 1995. He's been playing golf since he was 11 and continues at the age 90. He's also played in the City Golf Championship 64 straight years. Ladies and gentlemen, Dick Schmaltz.
Thanks, Mike. One correction, those golf records were from the league, South Central League records, one state.
We have so many honors, I couldn't.
I know. I've got a lot of thanks to make here, so I'll start off by saying I'd like to thank Jerry Cisneros and all the board members for all they do to make this an enjoyable or pleasurable experience. They do a lot of work, and I think they deserve a hand, I think, just for I've got one old teammate from junior college days that I got to give a thanks to. I see he is a lifetime member, Jim. We were playing football together at the junior college. He was a right guard and I was right tackle. And we had a good time playing football in those days. But Jimmy Blanc has been he's been very involved in this organization for quite a few, well, since it began, I guess. So Jim, he made the phone call to tell me that I was accepted in this organization, and I appreciated that. Jim, you made it special. While playing sports in Pueblo, I had a chance to play under some of the finest coaches available. And I'll mention the names, but you'll know that they're outstanding because they were all members of this organization. Ed Lesser, Vern Cochran, Solly Rosso, Elliot Pleas in junior college, and Harry the Chief Simmons at the junior college. These people were, they influenced me a great deal, and I'm proud to call them coaches. They're all gone now, but I know Vern was just recently passed away this year, but all of them were excellent coaches and appreciated all the work they gave with all their athletes. I have a couple of people I'd like to thank. My wife asked two people to write letters of recommendation for this membership in this great organization. Rich Reesner, I think Rich has name been mentioned several times, and I had a chance to play golf with Rich for a lot of times over the years, and you know that it's a quality golf coach. He was a great quality person to play golf with, and I appreciate him writing that letter. The other was our nephew that we love, Jim Parco, and we are proud of all he's accomplished in life. And he wrote a letter, and Rich's letter, I read it, and I told Mary, he says, if I'm half the man that they described in those letters, I'd be happy as a lark. Then I need to thank my wife. This wouldn't be possible if she wouldn't have taken time out to do all the paperwork and giving Jerry a hard time, but everything that was necessary. And she tried to do this about 10 or 12 years ago, but didn't get it done. But honey, I love you. You're my rock, and thanks for doing this. It was worth all your efforts. And lastly, we would like to thank a lot of our family and friends are here tonight to enjoy this moment with us. I'd like to thank them for all the support they've given. Tell them we love them, and thanks for being here supporting us. Thank you.
He even looks like a linebacker, doesn't he? I wouldn't mess with him. Anyway, because I went to Catholic High in Roncalli, I'd say we saved the best for last, because our last inductee is from Catholic High. Frank Whalen. Frank was a standout athlete even in his youth. In Pueblo, he was an all-star in old-timers when old-timers was a really big deal in Pueblo. And he was a star athlete at St. Leander's when the parochial league was a really big deal. There used to be 12 Catholic schools in that league. Frank was then a three-sport star at Pueblo Catholic High, which then became Roncalli, where we graduated, Roncalli and Seton, where we graduated, and until it was brutally closed by the bishop. Frank was all-league and all-city in 3 straight years. Can you say that a bishop was brutal? Is that okay? Okay, anyway. In both football and baseball. In baseball, he led the city in hits, home runs, and RBI in 1960, and his 1960 team won the state championship. In football, he was named to the Denver Post Honor Roll and played for the South team in the All-State football game, which was also a really big deal back then. Frank played 1 year of baseball at Colorado University. After college, continued to have a stellar softball career in Pueblo. He's been an active volunteer and contributor to numerous causes in and out of sports for his whole life. Let's give it up for Frank Whalen. Frank is accompanied again by Taylor Voss tonight, his grandson.
Good evening. My name is Taylor Voss. My grandfather, Frank Whalen, has asked me to speak on his behalf tonight. First, I want to congratulate all the other inductees on their well-deserved recognition. It's truly an honor to be included among such a talented and dedicated group. There are far too many people to thank individually, but please know how sincerely grateful I am for every coach, mentor, administrator, teammate, supporter, and volunteer who played a part in my journey. Your guidance, encouragement, and generosity helped shape my values that have stayed with me throughout my life. I carry that impact with deep appreciation. Thank you. I'm being honored tonight for playing team sports, and I consider myself very fortunate to have been part of so many great teams, made up of outstanding coaches and filled with exceptional athletes, several of whom are members of this Hall of Fame. When it comes to sports, Pueblo is a town that values tradition. It's a joy to see those lifelong traditions passed from one generation to the next, and to hear those memories retold whenever families gathered together. I was blessed with wonderful support from my mom and dad, my brother, and my 2 sisters. I drew so much pleasure from playing sports, and that same joy has continued as I've watched my children and grandchildren pursue their own passions. Seeing them grow reminds me of how sports build strength, shape character, and inspire confidence. My greatest gratitude goes to my beautiful wife, Mary Beth. Every day for 63 years, she has been my MVP. Without her tremendous love and care, I surely wouldn't be here today. We could all give my grandma, Mary Beth, a round of applause. From a very young age, I had a deep love for sports and grew up in a time when kids played outside until the streetlights came on. When I was 10 years old, I had the chance to meet Yogi Berra at Runyon Field. He told me, "I hear you like baseball. Well, go have fun and play hard." Those simple words worked well for Yogi, and they've stayed with me ever since. I always tried to give my best every time I played, whether it was football, baseball, softball, or basketball, because I truly loved the game. That love of the game has stayed with me throughout my entire life, and it's what I hope young athletes today will carry forward with them. Play for the love of it. Finally, I want to take a moment to thank Jerry Cisneros for all of his effort and dedication in making this such a special event. We're living in challenging and turbulent times when certain forces seek to divide us. Yet it's during moments like these that organizations such as the Greater Pueblo Sports Association remind us of what truly matters: hard work, teamwork, and community. Thank you for your continued commitment to bringing people together and for keeping the spirit of sports alive in our community. Go Pueblo. Thank you.
That was really great, Taylor. You ought to be in politics. Actually, he is in politics. Okay, those are our honorees. I want to apologize. I beat up on Jim Brooks a lot. He is one of my really good friends, and he would have done the same to me, so, that's okay. But they have no further use for me. The evening is over, but this has just been a real honor. It's an honor every year, and I'll come back as long as they will have me. So we would like to bring back Jerry, our wonderful president, for some closing remarks. Thank you, and I hope you had a good time. And I'm supposed to tell you to drive safe, but really, I don't care. Drive how you want. Bye.
I'll just take a couple of minutes to finish up the evening. It's great to be right here and to have these special events take place. I'm kind of not a crier, but I get a little raspy in my voice because it is sentimental. When you have your teams recognized, and this was by the GPS members, and we've done it a few times already with East back-to-backs, counties back-to-back. But somebody has to break the door down before the others to go through it. And I was blessed to coach those young men that won the first back-to-backs for Pueblo. There was a young man in our runner-up here who won the next state title, because we had kind of like just one state champion per year, but we did it like a workhorse. All the other kids were runners up and placers and whatever. But Marcus Hernandez won his state title in the runner-up season, so he's here tonight. He's the one that was goofing around up here. How come it's not in Braille and whatever. But to win the state title as a blind wrestler was pretty, and he got 2 standing ovations. One when he was a runner-up in our 06 year, 05 year, and then the following year when he won it, double, standing ovations from those groups. So that was special. So those young men showed up tonight. They came from, a lot of them from Texas, North Carolina. Bose, where did you come from? North Carolina? North Carolina, and Sands came from South Carolina. But they came from all over just to be here tonight because it's special to them. And, Gavin Lockett, that's coming from good pedigree. His grandpa, Dave Lockett. I got to coach with Dave Lockett and Roxy Burris for years in football. And so I got to learn a lot of football, even though I did wrestling. I did a lot of football with those guys. I'm blessed to be with those guys and be a part of it. So when they're all here together, it's hard not to get excited and feel special about this evening. Of course, our mentors like Jim Blanc, Coach Massaro, they've been with this association forever. And those gentlemen deserve those lifetime recognitions because they're what inspire us to keep moving this forward. And hopefully there'll be more. So I am going to read my little closing remark things. I kind of went off script, but it's just part of the evening. It just brings that emotion out. Before my closing remarks, I would like to share some of the association's accomplishments for the 2025 calendar year. In January, we added three new members, Joe Servey, Taylor, and Corey Voss. So we're still getting people interested in coming and helping us, and we need that. We need those guys in our association. In February, we gave out 2 GPSA President's Awards, one to East High School for their 4A state wrestling team title, and to the girls state championship Central wrestling champions. So we gave out 2 President Awards that we brought into the association and go to give to the high schools from the GPSA. This is our 3rd year that we have been members of the Pueblo Chamber of Commerce, and our goal is to be more visual in the community. This is also the 3rd year that the members have worked at Chili Festival, contributing community service as an association. That's important to us. We want to be visual. We completed our 2nd year providing a monthly GPSA newsletter. That is starting to become somewhat part of our association. So tonight, if you want to get our newsletter, we put it out 10 times during the year, just a monthly reminder of what's going on. It doesn't take long to read. There's just a few things going on, but whatever's going on, we share that with you. So if you want our newsletter, go to the QR code in the program and enter your email. Make sure to do this before you leave, because in December newsletter, we have a lot of the pictures that Kara took tonight. She'll put, and John will put 2 or 3 pages of pictures of people that came to the banquet this evening. This proved to be, the newsletter has proved to be pretty effective, because many of our past inductees chipped in financially to help the association keep it moving forward. So they're now coming in and being helpful, and we're not having to lean on 1 or 2 members that we've kind of leaned on through the years. We continue to take ideas from our membership to try new things. Tonight we brought back the recognition certificate for the greater moments in Pueblo sports history. I have been president for 3 or 4 or 5 years, and Jim says, I think we have some certificates downstairs. We used to be. I'm like, well, I hadn't known. I thought I was coming up with a grandiose idea. And they've done these ideas more than once. We just had to get them out there and do them again. So we did that again. We kind of brought that back. A special thanks goes out to the GPS members for being progressive and wanting to make our association better. So the members that we have in here, they are really trying to help us make a better association. The guests who participated in our 2nd year gift basket drawing, we want to thank you. This is new. We just started doing this last year. We want to thank you, and before leaving, check to see if your ticket was drawn. If your ticket matches, please verify with the GPS member, and then take your basket or whatever that was there and take it home with you. I'd like to thank our treasurer Mike Scott, our secretary Rick Macias, and our vice president Miles Gorham, and all our GPS members for their support. I do want to do a special shout out for Miles, because Miles and I have now for 5 years have done at least, 50 lunches, because we meet once a month before we meet with the membership and make sure that we have all our ducks in order, how we're going to run the meeting, what we're going to say, what we're going to do. And I couldn't do it without the guy. He's just fresh blood, treats me like gold, and never says no to me. So I want to thank Miles Gorham. He's our, and there's a right-hand man, he's the man. Also want to do a special thank you to our GPS member, John Barker. He was our media specialist. Now he's become a member. He feels it's very important to be a member of the GPSA. He's our website designer. He's providing the inductee slideshows that you viewed this evening. He added the inductee bios. That's the first time we've ever done bios for inductees. So this class got to really get it up and it turned out really cool. I think that's probably our best program we have put together up to this point. But thanks to John Barker. In closing, the city of Pueblo is the only community in Colorado that really, to me, that I know, that provides a Hall of Fame recognition. that encompasses our athletes, coaches, officials, contributors who have excelled from our community. Tonight's inductees are now a part of a special group. If you love sports and have some extra time, you need to become a part of the GPSA. Our association is trying to recruit more women, and actually, Marla Lamon, one of our GPS inductees, she goes, Coach, I'm going to come to the banquet, and then you're going to see me in January. So that'll add on to our other lady that we have, our woman that we have in our Carol Cosby, who is also an inductee. She's been coming, and she's a busy lady, but she makes the time to come to our meetings. So that's going to be nice. We do need more women in our GPS membership. Our associate is trying to recruit more women to the GPSA. If that appeals to you, please attend our January meeting. The last thing, I run into people all the time and they say, so-and-so should be in the GPSA Hall of Fame. I say, okay. My answer is for them to become their nominator, sit down with that nominee, fill out the application, and submit the application before August 1st. We can only read applications that are in front of us, okay? The way the induction goes, we do a first reading. So if you submit an application to it, all the GPS members read the applications, then they put into who they feel should be inducted for that year. And if they have to have 2/3 of the vote of the membership that's present. So whatever that is, if there's 18, there's got to be 12 or plus votes for that person. And if they don't get in on the first reading, then they are put in there for the next year at the second reading. But new applications come in, and that will become the first year. And then the group that didn't get in this year becomes the second. If they didn't get, they go into a third year reading. They have 3 years, and then we go ahead and try to get them. If they don't, they go into 3-year sabbatical. And if they sit through the sabbatical, then we call them up and say, would you like to resubmit your application? Is there anything that you would like to add? And put it back for the readings again. And I've been around long enough to know that there's been applications that have went through that whole process and then got in on that 7th year. So do not get discouraged if that applicant does not get in on a first reading, second reading, or third reading. So you have to know a little bit about the association to understand the association. And that's what we're here for. I guess that's the teacher and coaching me. I want to thank everybody that came tonight. These inductees were very special. They got some special stuff tonight that was different from the other inductees. I don't want to hear you, how come you guys didn't do that for me? That's what my wrestling other teams. How come our team never had those kind of singlets? They look better. I'm sorry, guys. We change every year. Things happen, we make the changes. So, God bless everybody. Good night. And this ends our banquet. Thank you very much for coming this evening. Hold on, excuse me, I'm always getting in trouble. Kirk has to do our invocation. Benediction.
Now everybody's mad at me. I know, ready to go. Doggone it. All right, let's shut it down.
Yes, sir. My fault.
Thank you, God, for this great evening, for the GPSA and its leadership for 53 years of recognizing athletes, coaches, and supporters of Pueblo sports and the friendships that have grown over the years through athletics. Please get us home safely, and we look forward to meeting again next year for the 54th annual GPSA banquet. Amen.
Amen.